So, what if the history you've been taught is a complete lie? According to one pretty fascinating and, let's be honest, controversial theory, the clues to a totally different past aren't locked away in some dusty old archive. Nope, they're literally right under our feet, hiding in plain sight.
All right, so let's get right into it. The whole theory kicks off with this simple, almost kind of weird architectural quirk you can spot in cities all over the globe. And here's the thing, once you see it, you will start seeing it everywhere.
Just look at this building in New York City. You see those windows on the ground floor? They're literally halfway buried in the sidewalk. So, was that on purpose? A strange design choice? Or is there something else going on here, just like the theory suggests? Now, what's really wild is that this isn't just a New York thing, or even a European thing. This right here is the Standard Bank building, all the way over in Johannesburg, South Africa. And it's the exact same story. You've got windows that look like they should be on a proper first floor, but they're right at street level, and you can even see others peeking out from below the ground.
Let's hop over to Melbourne, Australia. And what do you know? Same deal. It's this exact same phenomenon. So when researchers started seeing this global pattern, they had to ask a pretty mind-blowing question.
Okay, so what gives? What's the real explanation here? I mean, are these massive old buildings just sinking? Settling into the ground over a long time, like the official story might tell us? Or is it possible the ground level itself is actually way higher than it was when these places were first built? And this is a really important point the source material makes. They say there's a huge difference. A sinking building, it's usually going to tilt, right? You'll see cracks and signs of stress because the ground underneath is wonky. But a buried building, well, that's different. It's perfectly level, perfectly straight, just with its bottom floor swallowed up. It's almost like the whole street level just rose up around it. And this picture just perfectly nails their point. Look on the left. See those buildings in Japan after an earthquake? They've clearly sunk and they're all tilted and crooked. Now look at the right. This is a building they dug out in Omsk, Siberia. It's perfectly straight, not tilted at all. But look, a whole floor was completely hidden underground. Proponents of the theory say, see? That's not sinking. That's burial.
Okay, so if these buildings were buried, then what in the world buried them? And that question leads us to the next massive piece of this puzzle, the idea that some kind of single catastrophic event happened all over the planet.
Now this is one of the most jaw-dropping pieces of evidence they present. On one side, you've got the Polytechnic Museum in Moscow, right? Just how it looks today. But then, during some renovations, they started digging. And what they found was just, wow. A completely hidden lower level with full-on doors and windows buried under feet and feet of dirt. And this wasn't just a one-off thing in Moscow. Not at all. Check out the Omsk Museum in Siberia. Same story, all over again. A gorgeous old building that, once they started digging, turned out to have its entire original ground floor buried. When you see this in different places, thousands of miles apart, it really starts to feel like this was a huge, widespread event, not just some local flood. So, to explain this thick layer of mud and dirt that seems to be covering the original ground level of cities worldwide, researchers came up with a name for it. They call it the Great Mud Flood. And the most shocking part? They don't think this happened thousands of years ago. They think it happened just a couple of hundred years ago.
And the theory doesn't stop with 19th century buildings, it goes even further. Think about the Easter Island statues. For the longest time, we all thought they were just giant heads, right? Why? Because their massive bodies were buried deep underground. So the question is, could that have been caused by the very same event?
But wait a second, if some huge global disaster happened that recently, why haven't we heard about it? Why isn't it in any of our history books?